Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up.
Hello and welcome to That's the worst hello I've ever done. This is day two, coming at you live from the Win in Vegas, where of course we've got a basketball game that will be played later today. The NBA Cup Championship, the Emirates NBA Cup Championship. Guys, how are we feeling? It's day two. Yesterday you were god-awful. And so today, what are we doing?
I have never slept more in my life. I feel unbelievable. I'm fresh as a daisy, ready to do this.
Good to have you back, man.
I know,
Dude,
you really weren't
you back.
on the door of death.
You were kind of mean yesterday and in a bad mood.
No, I was
Nobody liked
hungover,
it. Oh yeah,
so
okay,
A
whatever.
little sprinkle of cranky.
Lou, you're always in a good mood. How are you today?
You know what? I'm doing surprisingly well. Day 4 in Vegas. I'm proud of
This
myself.
is day 4.
You've been here 4 days.
What do we have been here?
Oh my God, I
You've
have
been here
too.
since Saturday.
I'm like a big first night guy. I usually blow my water, like, you know what I mean?
Shocking. I mean, I'm sure America's
Sound
shocking.
great.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what people assumed. So let's get to some basketball, shall we? Yeah, we got a game tonight. Of course, it's Bucks Thunder. Bucks are 15-3. That's important because they started the season at 2-8. We were all saying, let's just blow it up. We trade Giannis, you fire Doc, you do all those things. And yet, here we are. And when asked about the turnaround, Giannis said simply, quote, "We trust in one another now. We play together. There's no more hero ball." Lou, was it really just that simple? Just trust in each other?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds simple, but it's not. Like, you have to have a template to win it. You got to establish a style of play and how are you going to go about, business as a team, right? So that's what trust looks like, knowing what you're going to get out of all of these guys. So when he says we're not playing hero ball anymore, you got to establish trust. Like, you got to know that Brook Lopez is going to give me 8 to 10 rebounds a night. 2 or 3 of those are going to be offensive. You got to know that Dame Lillard is going to make 3 to 5 3-pointers. Everybody has to step up and do their jobs. And when you have a buy-in, when you have guys that listen to each other and want to win basketball games, that's what trust looks like. So him saying they're not playing hero ball anymore, they've established that as a team. They can close their eyes, come in the arena and know this is what we're going to do. This is what we need to do to win basketball games. Even down to the fact of if something is off, you can determine what's off.
Right.
When
Instead of panic.
Instead of panicking, that we've established this. I know what went wrong. This was off in our game plan, and this is what's going wrong. And so, that turnaround, it starts with him, though. It started with him and Dame. These guys have to be the head of the snake. They have to establish the way that they're going to play basketball, and everything else will follow, and they've been able to do that.
And this is a team also that we just hated on their defense. Now they're currently the 12th rated defensive teams. They've made a huge adjustments there, and offensively they're just more comfortable, right? They're taking better shots. They understand that early on Lopez and Gary Trent and Taurean Prince, these guys, they weren't making shots.
Right.
They're all now shooting over 35% from the 3. They have Giannis being super aggressive going downhill. So they've always been playing this way. They just, like, early on, they weren't hitting shots. They were taking bad shots. They were pressing. So I feel like they were kind of playing out of their comfort zone. Now they've gotten to that top 10 field goal percentage. Now they're shooting threes. AJ Green, this dude is an absolute sniper. So they're getting a lot of production from these other guys. Then while Dame Lillard's doing Dame Lillard things, while Giannis is being dominant. So I think they kind of just figured that their game plan has always been, on paper, this team always looked good. That's why they made this trade for Dame Lillard. It was, let's surround Giannis with who's the most dominant, powerful downhill player in the league with a bunch of shooters. Now the shooters are making shots, so it looks like it's now turning the corner and working.
And let's give Doc some love, too.
Right.
The way that they worked Chris Middleton back in this lineup. At first he was coming off the bench. He was big on establishing. He was an assist guy. He was the setup guy.
For real.
And then it was like, okay, let me get back to doing Chris Middleton things. Now he's scoring that basketball, being more aggressive. And that goes to the coaching. That goes to the trust. Like you said, everybody is doing their job. Everybody is doing their part for their successes.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to be called, poo-pooing on the party here, but I do want to throw out a little interesting stat, Chandler. They're 10-3 against teams that are below 500. They're 4-8 against teams that are 500 or better.
Yeah.
Does that matter to you as far as what they've been able to do?
I think you could look at it both ways. It definitely matters because you want to see your team beat the teams that are going to be there at the end, right? You want to see them beat the best. But on the flip side, they're also a mature, older team that's handling business. That's, they're not playing with their food. They're not going to these bad teams and taking their foot off the gas. They're still handling their business when it matters. Of course, you want to see them knock off the Celtics. You want to see them dominate the Cavs. These are the Knicks, the teams that they're eventually going to have to go through. So it's not great, but it could be a lot worse. So I love the idea that they're handling their business. But
that's actually more impressive.
there's more games that they're going to have to win that they should win than they shouldn't win. I mean, with the talent they have, there's going to be a lot of bad games that they could let up. They could have an off night. As long as they win those games, they're going to be in that 3 to 6 seed, and then they're going to have a chance if healthy.
I thought you were adding something to that. I was like, what else you got? Thunder, by the way, I'm fascinated by the Thunder because I got asked this yesterday as far as, are they the team in the West? They're 20-5, 2 games behind the Cavs for the best record in the whole league. And of course, we always talk Western Conference versus Eastern Conference. And somebody said, well, who's beating them in the West? And it was weird because they're such a young team that my brain still thinks, well, they've got a little time to play with. But then I thought, who is beating them in the West, Lou? It's
more impressive what they're doing, and they are the best team in the league and in the West because of the consistency. You know, they've been one of those teams that they've had an expectation level coming into this season, and they picked up right where they left off last year. You know, they were a young team last year. Everything was like a surprise. Oh, well, we'll see what they're doing. Well, this year they're an even better team. They're a more confident team, and they're showing it and they're proving it. To me, that's a staple of a good team that's going to be here for a long, long time, and I think that's the reason why they're going to be one of the top teams in the West. But from a small sample plate from right now, they're absolutely the best team in the West, simply because they have all of the pieces. They got an MVP candidate. He's the guy that everybody is following, and he's doing everything that he's supposed to do. And they're still so young.
They have like a surplus of pieces. I think that's what was crazy.
What's interesting to me is the teams that I think we thought were going to challenge them aren't the teams that are 2 and 3 right now in the Western Conference. That's the Memphis Grizzlies and the Houston Rockets. So I feel like those 2 teams, as good as they've been playing, as healthy, and I feel like they're on the right track. Those aren't, like, before the season, I would have said the Mavs, the Timberwolves, the Suns, teams like that. So I still think those teams, the Nuggets, are kind of starting to figure it out a little bit. So the West is deep, but it's not really top heavy. So when you look at who's going to challenge them, it's tough. I still think it's going to be one of those teams like a Phoenix. If Kevin Durant gets healthy, it's going to be the Nuggets.
Still don't believe in these young teams.
Yeah, I feel like you are not getting past that.
Listen. I haven't seen enough from them. I love what the Memphis Grizzlies are doing. I think they have a little bit of better chance than Houston. But
you see Memphis being better than OKC this year?
No.
Okay. That's what I was trying to do yesterday.
Though.
I get the conversation, but when you really sit down and go through the West and start naming teams, you're I can't having a hard time.
I cannot see the Grizzlies beating them 4 times. I just can't. But I think they're on the right track.
But I think they'll be the team that's going to be the team that's going to be there. I think we forget how good Memphis was before Ja Morant's injuries and all of the other stuff. Like,
and they got Bane now. They got Marcus Smart now.
They're right back in that conversation. They picked up where they left off a couple of seasons ago. They were one of the top teams in the West. And now that they're healthy and everybody is back on the same page, they're going to be one of those teams to challenge OKC.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to go through that. It's a mental exercise is what it is. Duos, let's pick. Giannis, Dame, SGA, J-Dub.
I'm going the young guys. I think it's their time. I think this is a huge step for them too as a young team, right? We keep talking about we want to see it. We want to see it on a big stage. This is the biggest stage we can get right now in December. So I would love to see them handle business. And what I'm really interested in seeing is when they played the Mavs last week, when Lou Dort completely took Luka out of the game, I'd like to see him do that to Giannis tonight. Then they have guys like Cason Wallace and Caruso guard Damian Lillard. So it'll be interesting to see how we all know how good defensively OKC is. What's going to be their game plan tonight? Are they going to try and eliminate Giannis? Are they going to try and eliminate Damian Lillard? Because they have all these pieces. They they go 9, 10, 11 deep, but I'm excited to see Lou Dort do what he did against Luka against Giannis.
Give me the young guys as well.
Wow, this is the turning.
They've never had a hero ball conversation. Mm-hmm. There's a clear pecking order in OKC, and it works for them. Simple and plain.
This is a moment.
And for Giannis too, on the flip side, he's got to be aggressive. He's got to make his free throws. I think that is key. I think he needs to get to the free throw line 15, 20 times, and he's got to make 80% of them. I think.
Is that your key to the game?
It is my key to the game.
Jumping down? I see what you're doing. No, I got you.
Yeah.
That's the key to the game.
Set you up.
All right, one key to the game's out there. Giannis got to make the free throws. Might as well get your key to the game, Lou.
It's just going to be.
It's you another key.
I like OKC tonight. I think they close it out. I think they win this cup. Key to the game for me is for them to just be consistent and be themselves.
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything out of body, have to do anything special. Stick to your game plan, stick to your template of winning the way that you guys been building, and I think it'll be fine for them.
You know what's interesting? It's like we know what the Thunder are going to do, right? For the Bucks to win, for their key, I think Giannis has got to get to the free throw line 20 times. He's got to make 80% of them. And those other guys like we talked about, Torian Prince.
So are the Bucks your underdogs?
Gary.
They are.
Yeah, they are. And by the way,
are they the underdog?
And it keeps moving. It started at 4, now it's like 5.5.
I saw 5.5 this morning.
So everybody is betting on the Bucks. Sorry, I'm having a little malfunction.
No, you know what? Let's all take a moment and watch you fix it.
It's not a terribly bad bet. It's not a bad bet.
But isn't it? It's not a bad bet. I just think it's it's just such a moment that we're sort of watching because you have a Milwaukee team that starts the season off with championship expectations. So you have like sort of the old guard playing the future tonight, and we get to a little preview maybe of things that are come. I don't know. It is weird to say OKC's the favorite. It still is to me. You got two pretty decent MVP cases on the floor tonight. You got the third fave, that's Giannis, up against the second fave in SGA. I know who Lou's pick is. He's not wavering, Chandler.
Budget.
It's got to be one of those two who's got the better case.
It's SGA. To me, you got to reward winning. The team is 20-5. He is their absolute everything. As good as that team is and as deep as they are, SGA is their closer. He is that voice of reason. He calms everybody down. You can just see how the dude carries himself in postgame interviews, that he brings that vibe every single day to the facility. They all look up to him. It's him. His numbers don't lie.
Calm.
They're winning. He plays defense. He's a two-way player. Giannis is putting up great numbers, but to me, he's the best player on the best team in the Western Conference. To me, it's him or Tatum.
He checked both boxes.
Yeah.
You know, we have this conversation all the time. Is an MVP candidate? Is it about winning or is it about numbers? He has both. He checks both of these boxes, and like you said, it's a changing of the guard.
Yep.
This has been consistent. We're on year 2 of us talking about him being an MVP candidate. Like, that's not easy to do, and it's not a fluke. Yeah, it's not a fluke, not a gimmick. He's here to stay. So I favor SGA. You know, obviously for personal reasons, but he's doing everything that he can to make me look like a genius.
Let me ask you a question, Lou, since you've been sticking by him since the beginning. Are you just doing this now so that when it does happen, you can yell at all of us, I told you so?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, just want to make sure.
Behind the scenes, though, I watched this guy work. I watched it from day one. Like, he's never wavered on hard work. He's never took shortcuts, never made excuses for himself. He just put his boots on and he keeps moving. So to see some of those things come into fruition that he's worked towards, I can't vote against it.
He's also a guard that takes crazy long mid-range twos, and he's shooting 51% from the field too. So not only is he productive, he's efficient. Like, he's unbelievable.
You know what I've been thinking too is, like, they played on Saturday, so you have Sunday, Monday off. We're here in Las Vegas.
It's probably a bad thing.
What is everybody doing this whole time? I mean,
shopping.
Vegas hours last a while.
Shopping, IVs, massage.
That's what you did.
That's the one thing I've seen these young guys doing. Every single store I've walked past.
Shut up.
It's at least a 6'8" guy in there in every window.
Shop in Vegas, guys.
Wait, what do you mean you're not going to shop in Vegas?
I've never been my
Every
thing
store you could possibly want is all within like one building.
Yeah,
I mean, not exactly.
I mean, they at least got a extra $250 grand.
I was gonna say it would be fun to shop a little bit here with a little bonus money in your pocket. Guys, there are other games. Games happened, and other games are still going on. We got to talk a little Sixers here. They beat the Hornets last night, 121-108. Tyrese Maxey had 40. Paul George had a season high 33. Obviously, no Joel Embiid, who's still out at least a week with the nasal fracture. And damn you, sports gods. Jared McCain is out indefinitely with a torn meniscus. PG and Maxey, that is what you got. Do you rally? Do you try to make a move? Is this a lost season? Talk to me.
I've been on board of them shutting this down for a while now. And the problem is, if they don't, it's going to be games like this and other games where they have enough talent where they're going to win games. So they're going to kind of be in this middle. And I know they're trying to think big picture. And if we can just be healthy come playoff time, we can compete and make a splash. I don't think that's the case now, especially with Jared McCain out, with Joel just not magically getting better. Again, Maxey is good enough where he can go off for 40 and they can get a win. Paul George is Paul George. Eric Gordon can get going. Kelly Oubre, like, they have enough that it's not like a tanking team. They weren't trying to lose
at all.
So they still have enough to win some games. So I think it's too late for them. I think the East, I guess, is this is the season. This is the year for them to kind of stick around and make some noise if they wanted to. But to me, it's shut it down. Be 100% healthy next season, and then you're looking at a real contending team.
And I'm gonna have to disagree because there's gonna be a disconnect between the front office and the players. There's a lot for these players to prove. Tyrese Maxey just got paid. He's still got to go out there and prove I'm worth what was spent on me. I'm worth what was given to me, right? And on the flip side of that, Paul George, I just signed to the Philadelphia 76ers. I have to show this fan base I'm still Paul George. You can trust me to win you basketball games. If I'm the front office, I want to give myself an opportunity at some of these high draft picks and these young guys that are in the draft. So there's the disconnect, right? You still have guys that have to prove themselves. They have to go out and compete at the highest level. Like, players aren't in on tanking.
God, no.
Yeah, players aren't in on this. So you have to put the team in a position to be able to tank. Players aren't going to get on board with that. Nobody loses on purpose. Nobody. So I think that's where the disconnect comes in. So Chandler's saying they should shut it down. If I'm the front office, absolutely, that should be what listen, this season, it probably is not going to go our way. It's a wash. But if you're the players, we still got to go out and compete at the highest level.
And the problem is they're a game out of the play-in. So it's like there's so much basketball to be playing. And you look at those teams, I still think Philly is better than Brooklyn, Chicago, and Indiana. So it's like, it's not like they're so far behind. They don't have enough time. They do.
But I almost feel like that's such a worse place to be.
It is.
Sort of like a
I'd rather
purgatory.
in between.
I would, in the middle of the pack, especially with this draft, with those top 3 kids, I'm telling you, are dead. Like they're dead nice. They are so good. I want those 3. I want one of those 3 guys. And so if they're going to continue to win games, they're not going to get them.
Dead nice. By the way, the tanking thing, I feel like you have to explain to people all over. You went to the Raiders game last night. They 100% should be tanking for a quarterback. And at the very end, they were trying. Like, please don't try. Luckily, it didn't work out.
Players are never going to donate their jobs. Like if I'm Desmond Ritter and I'm listening to people saying Shedeur Sanders is coming in, I'm not donating my job to Shedeur Sanders. I'm gonna give myself an opportunity and he can be my backup.
But luckily it was a very, very good ending for that game if you're a Raiders fan. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, Chandler's buddy's here. Smile. Joakim Noah will be back on the show when we return. See you in a bit.
Sticks
Run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back.
Joakim Noah is here right now, and it's we have questions for you. I don't know how many of them we'll actually get to because you two have known each other for a very long time. That sounds really weird when I say it like that. But like we're talking college days. So what?
His college days, my high school days.
Yeah, your high school days, which I don't. Share what you can, which is actually anything because we're not really censored here.
Chandler's my son.
The jungle horse and the white horse, what we call each other.
Dear God, really?
Chandler's my son. I'm the jungle horse. That's the white horse.
Wow,
and really happy to be here.
I feel like you were in high school and you go.
So yeah, I was 15 years old, and obviously he's at Florida, and they are popping. This is when they were won the back-to-back championships, and I take my official visit to Florida, and I had 5 visits scheduled. Right, it was like and Florida was my first one. Sticks was my host. Let's just say I tried a couple things for the first time. Really had a good.
Yo, that sounded so bad.
I mean, it might be worse sounding.
Kids.
I'm just
like the library.
And Michelle, I signed on Sunday and canceled all my other visits.
That's a good
I was
sell.
born to be there.
You're a good salesman.
Oh, it was epic.
That's okay.
It wasn't hard.
God, I can't even that.
Hey, yo. Oh my God.
This is off the rails.
This is off to
already.
a really bad start.
Let's try
Make it better.
Let's try some basketball.
Yeah.
Stiggy, you were part of arguably one of the best Gator groups of all time. Give me your top 5 Florida Gators group, and I'm curious to know if Chandler makes your 5.
That's awkward.
It depends if it's on the court or off the court.
Let's go on first.
Yeah,
on the court. Yeah, let's keep it basketball. At point guard, look, I had a great squad. It was some of the best times of my life. You know, you got to put the big Dominican Al Horford up there.
Absolutely.
Number 1, you know, shout out to Al.
Now still paving right now.
Still paving, still doing his thing.
Still doing it.
Still balling at a high level. It was and
You're obviously in there, so you two are the bigs.
I like this.
Come on.
This is
okay.
good.
I take white chocolate at the 1. You know.
Sorry, T Green.
Yeah, T Green. Yeah, you're not better than
6th
white
man
chocolate.
of the year.
Sorry, yeah, you get out of there. Brewski.
Corey Brew as a small forward, not me. That hurts, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, top 5.
Your case is getting worse and worse.
I'm right here. Yeah, right.
White chocolate. I'll take. I mean, Mike Miller. Do you feel better than Mike Miller?
Do
So
you?
none of these guys you named were ever SEC Player of the Year. Tell me. So you know, I mean,
Right, fight back, Chandler.
Yeah,
There you
do
go.
something.
Fight
And I
back.
didn't get a vote that year, so everyone else voted that. But I don't know.
Anyway, at the 4.
Are you better than Mike Miller?
Just answer that first to start.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take Mike Miller.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool.
Does that hurt?
What's
feelings?
that?
So Jay Will, Corey Brewer, Mike Miller, Sticks, and Horford.
Okay.
That's good.
How far down is he sixth? Like, where would you put him?
Nah, I'm load management that night.
Give him 15 minutes off the bench. Solid,
Okay.
solid 15.
That's something.
By the way, Stick, so when Billy Donovan is coaching you at Florida, did you think that he would transition to such an NBA coach? Because I got to be honest with you, I didn't know his demeanor and stuff would fly in an NBA locker room, and he's still doing it. He's still sticking. So did you see that happen? Like, do you see him being a great NBA coach?
It's so funny you say that because I'm sure he felt the same way about you.
I mean, dude, he was mean. Like, not to be like, he was a mean. You can't coach NBA players like.
I was
how
about
you
to say
coach
that's
college.
usually what it is in college.
Right. You
the
have
coach
that
is
control.
the star. In the pros, the pros are the star.
sense.
Can't do that.
But you have to understand, we win back-to-back championships. Chandler comes in. He has access to the whole city. He gets to the bar. The drinks are called CP25.
No,
he
they're
hasn't
not.
done anything.
You had your own drink?
He had his
Are
own
you?
drink.
What's in it?
Yeah,
You know what's
roofies.
shocking? You know what's shocking? It was vodka, blue Gatorade, and crushed ice. It was horrible.
My God.
That's called a Faderade.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mike Miller didn't have a drink, did he?
My God, he's so angry about this. I love it. Wait, the back-to-back thing I do want to add, because people could have left. They could have gone to the NBA, but it was, nope, we're sticking around doing this. What, did somebody want to leave, or was it just an automatic, hey, we're all staying?
Well, three of us definitely had an opportunity to go to the league after the first championship. I think that, people always underestimate chemistry, playing good basketball, and we decided to come back to school. For me personally, I was in a situation where I didn't have to worry too much about, my family. My mother was all right. Everybody was all right. But when Corey decided and said, like, okay, we're going back to school, and he had an opportunity to be a lottery pick after that first championship, it just showed, like, our bond was real, and we came back and we won it again. It was, I don't think that'll happen again. And I'm really proud of that, like we put the money to the side, and because we knew we had something special.
Because you would have damn near been number one pick, right?
That's crazy.
Top three. But
Does
by the way,
anybody have regrets?
He had
Anybody?
it. He had it pretty good at Florida, though. The dude was a rock star in Gainesville, so it was fine. You were fine.
I know, but like lots of people have regrets. Like, I should have done this. This is like the most blessed situation. Like, you guys are you did it. You did what you set out to do. You won, and then everyone went off to have good careers. Like,
Absolutely.
It's kind of impressive.
By the way, you didn't want to do it again and come back for your senior year?
third.
Do a three-piece?
Come on.
That junior year was thank God we won the championship, because it was a tough year. A lot of expectations. Nothing was good enough. And we were happy. I mean, if you look at that press conference, though, when we declared for the draft, like, Torian's crying, Corey's crying. I'm like, what is this? Like, we're supposed to be happy. Like, everybody's about to get paid and guys are crying.
Everybody was relieved?
Yeah. People were, we had a great time. And you can't underestimate that. Like, you can't take that for granted. When I was making the most money, when I was making a lot of money, it was the most sad I was in my whole
Really?
career. Yeah.
I think when people hear that, that's the part that they're like, wait, what? Because you go off and you make a ton of money and people assume, oh, that's the best part. Most people are never happy with what they have. So staying in college and doing it again it's like mind blowing. In this day, nobody's doing that. Everybody's chasing something. The three names, it just says you, and Johnny Manziel and Bird Scooters. What is this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Chandler? What? How many of these stories
Oh,
exist?
man. That was, yeah, I wasn't playing. I don't think you were playing that game either, right? We were both hurt.
I hope
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's just say we took Birds. You drive
Let's
the car
just
down
say.
the tunnel.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember that now.
Me, Sticks, and Johnny took Bird Scooters to the game.
Okay.
And may have stopped at a bar before.
you may have.
Yeah, maybe.
Jeez, you making us look bad.
No, I like it.
Like, I mean,
That's
come
what
on.
college is for.
No, this was in the NBA.
Oh, that's not what it's for. That's not what it's for.
You can't get in trouble now.
We weren't playing.
We were still kids.
We were
My bad.
inactive.
Yeah,
We were inactive. We weren't playing that night. That's crazy.
Are you sure?
No.
No, I will say this about our time in Memphis.
dear.
I just had a really rough time in New York. Got paid a lot of money. I got kicked off the Knicks.
That's a tough spot.
And, I'm out the league. And 2 years before, I'm defensive player of the year. So the turnaround was rough.
Yeah.
And I'm out the league. It's been about 6 months. I get a call from Chandy, and he's like, "Come on, man, come to Memphis, like a GM. He's playing, but like a GM." And he's like, "Come, we're gonna figure it out. Just come to Memphis." I was training hard, and I was able to go, and it was.
Lou's got questions.
Lou, you got questions about this?
I want you to finish, but you were advocating for people to come to Memphis?
I just needed a friend. I was a friend in need. I needed a bodyguard.
How far that relationship's gone?
Oh, it was, listen, and he came, by the way, and they loved him. It was funny, as I recruited them there, Memphis couldn't hate me more. And
I know.
Standing ovations for him in his 6 minutes that he'd get there, and they loved him.
Shout out JB Bickerstaff.
Bickerstaff wanted him bad, and we got it done.
That.
Yeah, he's the man.
JB was the man, and that was actually the Clippers. That was the first game back. It's a December game. I haven't played in a basketball game in almost a year.
Wow.
And we play the Clippers on the first game back. It's the fourth quarter. JB got me in the game. We ended up winning that game.
Yeah.
And that year really was just it was just a great way to. It was like the last times that I was able to get on the court and just enjoy playing basketball again. So, Chandy, I appreciate that moment in Memphis for real. That was really good times. And then actually I ended up playing with Lou in the bubble.
And we got stories as well.
Oh, Lou,
We got stories as well.
Here we go. The bubble.
What's worse,
man.
the bubble or Memphis?
Yeah, that's a good question.
The bubble, 1,000%.
Bubble's rough.
1,000%.
Do you have as bad a memory of the bubble as Lou does? Like PTSD type stuff?
I mean, for Lou, what Lou went through that will never happen again. I mean, they locked him up in a room for 10 days for God's sake. Jesus, this is not.
That doesn't even sound right.
Inhumane.
It's inhumane.
Wings that they knew I was going to get.
Over chicken wings?
Over lemon pepper
Over
wings.
lemon pepper wings that they knew
Wait,
I
I never
was
heard
going.
this story.
What do you mean they knew? Shut up.
All right, let's clear this
Let's
up.
just do it.
Let's
go.
do
People
this.
think I left the bubble to go to Magic City. No, I was excused from the bubble to go to a funeral.
Oh, this when Jack Harlow posted you or whatever?
Yes, I was excused to go to a funeral. I left the funeral and Magic City was...
And you were hungry.
No, but
Obviously.
to understand Atlanta, we eat at our strip clubs. Our strip clubs are our restaurants.
Are you speaking for all of Atlanta when you say
I
that?
am.
Okay.
Ask around. I
making
really
sure.
am. Ask around. And they knew everything. I'll speed it up. They knew everything. But the fact of the matter was when I got back, they quarantined me for 10 days.
Good God.
This should tell you what really happened because I never got suspended. I was never fined, anything. I was 10-day quarantined and they told me we're going to make an example out of you because we don't want anybody else thinking that they can go and do that.
Jesus.
10 days.
Yes, and they literally would leave my food at the door like I was like some
prisoner.
some sick prisoner maniac.
Then remember somebody postmated something and got suspended or something.
Richard Holmes, I believe.
Yeah,
Richard
Quarantine.
Holmes,
he
Sacramento
ordered
Kings.
Postmates and literally got
And he
suspended.
literally stuck his hand over
There
the
was
line
contact.
and he had a 4-day quarantine.
That's ridiculous.
That is.
No, but I mean, Lou was positive guy, always. When he got out of that quarantine, it was real. He was not happy for a while. It took him a while. That was really tough, man.
Jeez.
No, it was,
I want him
it
to do
was-
a documentary about it so bad.
Yeah,
I really do. It would
we
be
should.
amazing.
We really should. Everybody should. Everybody that experienced it, different perspectives, because everybody had a different experience. That's fair to say. And some people were treated better than others, and it was different.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Would you have been okay in the bubble, you think?
I mean, I'm from Orlando. No, I would have hated it. I would have been
Just
miserable.
being stuck anywhere.
But it was close to home, I guess. But you can't do shit, right? You can't see anybody. You can't.
Mind you,
you play
when we
golf
were
all day.
in the bubble, the rest of the world opened back up. We were still
you
in
guys
the
were on
bubble.
lockdown and everyone else
look,
is chilling.
we're at Disney World. No,
Weird.
listen, we're at Disney World, and all you can hear is the roller coasters. Like, woo!
Everyone else is having fun. You're in a straight jacket.
Like you can
didn't
literally,
realize that.
you can literally look and see people having fun, and you're stuck at the hotel.
Yeah. It's
Imagine you open your room, your hotel room, and welcome to this world. Can you imagine
Hell.
after a month of listening to that song?
Lou said, remember you?
This is a documentary.
Kawhi said that they almost didn't care to lose at that point. He didn't want to get the hell out of there. which
it was just an experience that you can't imagine as an NBA player. Like, these guys were really my neighbors for 3 months. Like, we lived in a hotel, and Sticky had a room, and Kawhi had a room, and PG, and we were door to door neighbors.
Is there a part of you, because
No box.
It's weird.
is there a strong Wi-Fi at least?
Barely.
Because you know how there are weird chapters in your life, and with enough time, you're just sort of like, you know what? It was weird. I hated it at the time, but it's a chapter. Have you gotten to the point yet where you're like, it's definitely a chapter I'll tell people about, or do you still just cringe?
It hurts to talk about sometimes.
Damn.
It really does. Like, I don't want to liken it to like real PTSD and what soldiers and people in that world go through, but for us, relatively how we live, how we're used to living, it was a different experience for sure.
Fair enough. I think it's Lou's turn.
Yeah, we could talk about some basketball. Hey, look, man, you play with
you
D
want, I
Rose.
don't
The
care.
conversation came up about Chicago possibly giving him a statue. What do you think? You think he's deserving? I personally said statues are personal for the cities. And for what D Rose did for the city of Chicago, being from Chicago, you absolutely give him a statue.
100%.
100%. You know, as great as Pooh was as a player, to me, I think he's even better human. You know, the most humble superstar out there, and just the way he represented Chicago every time he stepped out there was unreal. When we were playing out there in Chicago, it was really like just representing him out there, and no, nothing but love for that guy. You know, we have our leagues in the hood. He came out last week. It was just really special just to see his relationship with his people. It's unreal. I really hope.
Tell him I'm looking for him, man. I want to get him on my pod out in LA. I done went through like 3 or 4 different people. I can't find him, so I'm sure I'll say this publicly. I'm sure you can find him.
That was smart.
Tell Pooh I'm looking for him, man. Hall of Famer in your book.
Hall of Fame for sure. You know, it's just it's tough because look, his story it's a painful story. There's a lot of adversity in it. You know, it's a big what if story. Like, if he hadn't got hurt, you know, you look at his highlights before the injury, and we've never seen anything like that. Just the way he hooped, how explosive he was, like his hunger. His game like really represented where he was from in a different way. So I just wish him nothing but the best. You know, we're gonna go to his ceremony next week. All his old teammates gonna be there, and we're all there to celebrate him.
I think he'd be the only MVP to not be in the Hall of Fame.
If he
doesn't get it.
is that true?
hopefully.
The only one?
I think
Inshallah.
Stick. Why the hell was he still in the game when y'all were beating us in 2002? Why was he still in the game?
Somebody's mad.
No, this is these are really painful memories back. You know, it's 7:30 in the morning. We're in Vegas. Like, let's keep it light.
This is the only time I'm gonna be able to ask you. But we got the microphones. Why was he still in the game?
Yeah, sometimes.
Were y'all trying to prove a point?
Not at all. We were trying to win a championship.
Yo,
In my mind,
25 with 2.5 minutes left.
I just remember it was.
you want to go there?
We here now.
You want to talk about it?
No, I'm not. I ain't gonna drag it. I want to know why was he in the game. Like, I want to know, because that speaks to Tibbs when they start talking about load management, him overplaying guys and this and that. I feel like that conversation started there.
Yeah.
You know, with him being in that game, and unfortunately, you know, tearing his ACL. It's like, what was the mindset? Because we felt like y'all were trying to prove a point. Like, we're gonna bury these dudes, and they are not on our same page.
I mean, they definitely weren't. But overall, I think that, look, should he have been in the game? No. Was it 15 years ago? Yes. Like, you know, at the end of the day, I think that I don't want to live my life with regrets. In our mind, it was, we were on a run. Like, we lost in the Eastern Conference Finals the year before. You know, we added some pieces. We got ripped. We were hungry as hell. Like, we were finally hitting the playoffs. Game 1 of the playoffs. You know, it was bigger than that one game. It's a big what if. He shouldn't have been in the game. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not living my life with no regrets.
For sure.
You know, I'm at peace. You guys know that, you know, I was a very competitive guy. And, you know, I'm not trying to live my life like that no more. I'm not, like, right now it's all about, you know, coming together, doing some cool things. We have platforms where we're able to talk about our experiences. 5 years ago, it was all journalists who had no idea about basketball.
And now we control the narrative.
And now we're talking about our stories.
Ex-athletes that actually know what goes into it and lived it now have a voice and opinion.
There you go.
Yeah.
We even got Chandy right here in the middle. It's a beautiful thing.
He's actually super dope at this. Like,
Thanks,
Whoa,
Lou.
what's happening right
Right.
now?
No, I study Chandler
Let him
because
go, let him go, let
he's
him go.
well spoken. I study Chandler. I give him his credit. I give you some flowers, my boy.
No, it's
Take it.
cool to see.
Louis.
It's cool to see because I have stories with both of these guys. We were teammates and on different teams, different moments in our careers. Like for Chandler, like even I watch you guys and like the take that I really liked on FanDuel is the LONZO ball take. Because he got back onto the court, and I'm scrolling through the internet, and I'm watching Chandy talk about that situation, and I was like, you know what, this makes a lot of sense because of everything that he went through. Okay, gets his bag, people kind of turn their backs on him, but I know this guy since he's 15 years old.
Right.
Nobody would have ever thought that he would have had a 10-year NBA career.
Yeah.
Like. I've heard Billy Donovan say like you'll never make it to the NBA to him. So for him to like be in a position like this where, all right, people, okay, you signed the big bag. People always are talking shit.
For sure.
But it's actually a take that resonates because he went through that situation. It's different when a journalist is talking about it and doesn't understand what it means to come back from. Like, have you seen Chandler go up the stairs?
Oh, I've walked behind him sometimes. It's like a
I knew there
90-year-old
couldn't be any
man.
more compliments coming.
It's real.
No,
it's real.
It's you're efforting.
I needed double knee replacement when I was 31 years old and was still trying to play in the NBA. Like people just see me going out and doing cool things and they get like mad at you. I'm like, bro, I just worked out for 6 hours before this. Like I have
You live my dream life, so who cares what everybody else says?
not
You're
too
living
bad.
like
It's
the
not
best
too bad.
life of anyone I know. Yeah, screw the haters. We got to take a quick break. You're not going anywhere. We've got more with Joakim in a second.
That was more than 10 minutes, guys.
That was way.
I'm out of here.
Run it up, run it back, yeah. Run it up, then run it back, yeah. Run it up, run it back.
Sticks, you once said something hilarious that I actually find myself looking up every now and then. You said, I never heard anybody say, I want to go to Cleveland on vacation. We had Walt Frazier on our show. He compared it to Siberia.
Cleveland, you like it? Your vacation here? That was one of my favorites.
To this day.
I've had my own little tiffs with certain cities in the NBA. How tough was it playing in Cleveland?
I mean, it was tough because LeBron was kicking our ass.
Yeah,
you can tell there was a lot of pain when I was talking about the city of Cleveland, but it had nothing to do with the city of Cleveland. It was a big playoff series. When I said it, it was after game 1. So you have to face the whole city in game 2.
Yeah.
So you got to bring it when you're talking about somebody's city like that, and you're talking about vacation in Cleveland. It's funny now.
It is
but
very.
It wasn't that at the time. I was actually really pissed because we had lost the game, and there was a big game 2 after the next day, and you got to guard Shaq. Oh my god!
Is that because you and Bron had a thing? Was that the origin of it? Just competing?
It was competing, man. I think that a lot of people, I mean, obviously, like people say we have beef, and beef is a strong word. I don't like using that word.
Yeah, because beef is real.
Beef is real.
Yeah.
I don't wish no bad. I don't have no bad intentions toward him. I'm not thinking about him before I go to bed.
Weird.
I wish him nothing but the best. Like, I don't think people want to hear that but it's the truth. It was just in the moment. I didn't want to be in Cleveland. I hated everything about Cleveland. That's the way I should have felt. We were in a playoff series.
It's one of the greatest iconic quotes of all
so
time.
good.
And I still use it, so thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask you something fun, man. Joe Mazzulla said earlier this year he wanted to bring fighting back to the NBA, and I said, well, you better invest in a bruiser. You better get you an enforcer.
James Johnson would get max.
Yeah,
Max.
What's your thoughts on bringing fighting back to the NBA in this day and age? How the game is?
Look, listen, we're on FanDuel. You guys, we're on FanDuel. You guys are getting
we
paid.
gotta ask the questions.
bet on the
You guys are on
You not wanna
FanDuel. We're all getting bags. We're done playing basketball. Like, you guys want to talk about fighting? Like, there's fighting in the NBA. We're not.
Are you on your peace journey right now?
Yeah,
Is it all peace?
Chilling, man. Life is good. Like, okay, we could talk about all these things, but come on, guys. Life is good.
But how funny and he also mentioned coaches getting involved. How funny would that be? Like, the coaches got
Dorn, stop it.
He calls me Dorn. You know who Dorn is?
Ask America if they know who Dorn is.
Do you know who Dorn is, Lou?
No,
You ever seen the movie Major Leagues?
Mr.
not in a very long
Blue.
time.
Oh, one of the best
Basically,
sports
it's like
movies
the
ever.
high maintenance, like prima donna
Pretty
dude
boy.
who gets like hit by a pitch. He goes, "Ow!" That's what he calls me, Dorn.
I was Joe Boo.
That's
I do this shit myself.
just quote Major League for the last 15 minutes. I'm here for it. But okay, fine. Here's a peaceful, happy feeling. Victor Wembanyama, you've been complimentary of him. What do you see in this young man?
He's definitely the next face of the league. I think the world can see that. I'm really, somebody who's high IQ, really smart, and somebody also who's played in some big games. That France-USA game, you're playing in France in front of your people, in front of your family, your friends, and just to play that game, France-USA, on the national stage, I think that's going to be a big part of his DNA. And it's like having CP with him this year, you could just tell that you see the progress. He's so young. Like, give him 2-3 years, this guy's going to be running the league.
Another one of our international stars, NIKOLA Jokic, looking at his 4th MVP possibly this year with them numbers. What you think about his game?
Man, I love him. He's definitely my favorite player to watch. It was tough because my last moment in the NBA was against the Denver Nuggets. They beat us when we were on the Clippers. I felt like that was my last chance to maybe get a championship. It didn't work out, but Nikola's just unbelievable talent. He killed us. But somebody who I think the narrative around him is just completely wrong. I think he's somebody who just really doesn't care about being famous.
Right.
And people say he doesn't care. I mean, you don't play at that level not caring. But I just think he's not somebody who's going to like do a workout and just like have video cameras with him and
TikToks.
Look,
You're
guys,
not the idea that
I'm
people want you.
bench pressing.
Can you imagine if he did?
The greatest thing I heard about him is DeAndre Jordan came on our show the other day and he said, Jokic took his shirt off and was like, Sam, he goes, "I am Tyson Fury." I said, you know what? It's because of how he looks and how he moves. People aren't maybe like physically intimidated by him. He's not Shaq, right? He's not like one of these, but it's because his numbers don't lie. His production doesn't lie. And so the fact that he says that, though, he's aware of it,
Love
like
it.
looking at his body in the mirror is incredible.
And he's sensitive, and people are being mean. By the way, that's the thing too, is like maybe he's not quote unquote physically intimidating, but if you ask someone, okay, fine, well, how do you shut him down? I've really not seen anyone do that yet.
Can't.
So
No.
is there even a way? I mean, is he one of those guys you're just like, well, let him go and stop everything else?
Let him go out. No, I don't think that's when you go into a game plan against him. You're not like
He's
let
gonna
him
kill
go.
us.
But no, you got to give credit when credit is due. I think he's one of the greats, and just really fun to watch. I love watching him play. Okay, as great as he is as a scorer, just the playmaking is it's unreal. I think when I love watching bigs like.
Yeah, you can't double him. He's a better passer than scorer. So like
Exactly.
you can't. Hands are full.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Your hands are full. By the way, like I do think that he gets crushed because he's not chiseled or it looks like he's stepping out of some stupid muscle magazine. I personally like his attitude.
It's more impressive.
He's like dry and sarcastic and I just love that.
That's just a credit to his greatness. Like none of our greats get out without criticism. None of them. So the fact that he's looking at his 4th MVP, like at some point he's gonna get criticized. People get bored with just you being great.
Greatness.
People get bored with it, so they start talking shit.
4th MVP.
Sounds crazy.
But he didn't care, and that's why I think
No,
I
he's
like
just
him the
gonna
best.
take it, go right back to his horses, and get on up out of here.
Good
Carry
for
on.
him. This cup thing, the money, the Vegas, all of it. What do you think about it? Would you have liked it?
Absolutely. You know, I think this is great for the league. You know, usually November, December, this is the time where guys are starting to get their feet wet. You know, the games really don't matter as much, but I think that this Emirates Cup is bringing competition like early on in the season. I think it's great. I think you see superstar players really caring about guys and that at the end of the bench being able to get that 500,000. And you can just tell the games are competitive as hell, and you usually don't see that in December.
Does that 500K ever get to your account? If you would have won the NBA Cup, and
You wouldn't have left Vegas.
take it in chips.
Take it in chips.
Who you like tonight? Bucks, Thunder. Who you like?
Bucks, Thunder. I think Giannis is just coming in. I think he's on a mission right now. I love OKC though. All my predictions I'm always wrong. Okay, but I'm gonna go with.
Here on FanDuel, we usually are too.
Yeah, we haven't gotten much late.
All right, and the beauty of this thing is like, look, you make predictions. This isn't a series, you know. So it's a one game. It's
March
one
Madness.
game. So anything can happen in one game. But I'm going with the Bucks tonight.
Oh, there you have it.
Is that that's because you guys both had?
Yeah, I like Thunder. I got Thunder.
I got Thunder as well.
All right, fair enough. I guess we're taking a quick break. I swear to God, we're not
next,
usually like this.
Joakim Noah.
Next, Joakim Noah joins the show, ladies and gentlemen. No, we'll come back. We'll wrap things up for day 2.
Appreciate it.
7:30 in the morning. Like,
Now go take a nap.
Go take a nap.
This is rough. Go take a nap. We'll be back.
Run it up, run it back, 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 run it up.
All right, guys, we got the game tonight. Y'all are going. Is that the rumor?
I am going. You're going?
I'm going.
I'm so proud of like just everything. And you've already picked OKC. What's the crowd like? Is it fans for each game, or is it just people love basketball and they came to Vegas for this?
I didn't even know.
To me, it just felt like a neutral crowd.
I like it.
Like people just here to enjoy good basketball.
Do we think it's still neutral tonight? Or do we think specific?
Yeah, I think with these two fan bases, I think it'll be pretty neutral.
Giannis fans, perhaps?
You know what it is I don't go like how
I
many.
think the Oklahomians and the cheese
Greeks.
and the cheeseheads.
Yeah, I
you
like
think they
it.
traveled in.
Honestly, it's just like a sick weekend because I've only gone to like 2 other NBA games since I retired. It's like seeing everybody.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen so many people I haven't seen in years. Like with the golf tournament yesterday, like everything. It really is a cool.
Did
weekend.
you win, by the way?
No, and you know what's funny? We played really, really good,
Uh-oh.
and it was groups of 6, and someone turned in a 45 under score to win.
Who did? What do you mean somebody? Who?
It was like a group of 6. I didn't
Randos?
Like no, well, I don't even. Yeah, it was pretty much 45 under par. It's like you're a cheater.
And there it is. We just called. Well, then we need names to the cheating. We have
Right.
tomorrow
I'll
to
find
get
out
us
the
the
names.
names. We have a 24-hour period. Boogie Cousins will be with us tomorrow for day 3 from Vegas. I'm proud of both of you.
vibe.
Clear-eyed, ready to go.
Steam room.
See you tomorrow.
Run it up, run it back, run it up, run it back, run it up, and run it back, run it up, then run it back, yeah.